going on, everyone? My name's Butters, and welcome to the discussion video for the picks of the Newcastle Nidokings in the UCL. So, the drafting is done, and it is time to prepare your teams. It is time to get behind the team you're rooting for, because the UCL is starting on the 25th of September? July. September? What? July. 10 days from when this video goes up. So, the picks have been picked, and the picks have been gotten, and I'm sitting here, and I'm ready to discuss the ones that we have grabbed for the Newcastle Nidokings. And if you are rooting for the Newcastle Nidokings, be sure to let me know in the comment section below. I would love to have your support. I really would, but I'm just gonna say we have some really good battlers in this league. A lot of people I'm really scared of, and in week 1, we are going up against A-Drive and the St. Louis Rampardos. So, A-Drive is known as a very good competitive battler. I'm not going to talk about his team or any tactics I have going into that battle because, you know, he could be watching. He could be watching. I don't know. He might sit here and listen to my tactics and take advantage of that, but no, not going to let that happen. But I'm going to talk about my picks for the Newcastle Nidokings, and I guess we'll just go from there. So, when the draft started, I was what spot was I? I can't remember exactly what spot I was, but I was quite close to the top, I want to say. The draft went on for 6 hours for 2 days straight. So we had a total of 12 hours of streaming in 2 days, which was a little bit exhausting. So big shout out to everyone who, you know, kept the stream going. Nappy, Luke, Mo, I think maybe Twit was doing stuff behind the scenes. Make sure it kept going. But the first Pokemon I picked for the Newcastle Nidokings in the OU tier was Venusaur. And Venusaur is going to be on Mega. And going into this, I was like, okay, I know Mega Venusaur is a massive threat, and I've had so much trouble battling it in the past. I want to pick that thing up. I want to get that thing right now. Just, a lot of the reason was just to have it away from other people, because I knew if I went up against a Mega Venusaur, I would have a really tough time with it. And also because it's an amazing stall Pokemon. It's got really good attack, and Charizard was taken. I'm just kidding. I was gonna go for Venusaur anyway, but we picked that thing up. I actually love Mega Venusaur. I've been doing some practicing with it before, and I think it's really good. So you can do a lot of things with Mega Venusaur. Also, if you have Venusaur, I don't have to have Mega Venusaur. I can also use normal Venusaur, which is gonna come into play a little bit later on with what I'm gonna talk about. But first off, Mega Venusaur. Obviously, you have the Leech Seed, Sludge Bomb, Giga Drain, Sleep Powder set. Like that's the very basics. That's the very basics. But what I saw there was a bit of a problem with steel types like Scizor and Skarmory. So you can also, if you really wanted to, and I've been testing this out. I've been looking at a couple things, a couple different sets and stuff. Throw HP Fire on that, which takes care of Ferrothorn, Scizor, and Skarmory, and other steel types, maybe Fortress and stuff like that. And I've been having really good success with that. Mega Venusaur is a grass poison type, leaving it weak to Flying, Fire, Ice, and Psychic. Of course, the Thick Fat does get rid of the Ice and Fire weaknesses, which I was really happy about, which leaves us with a Flying and Psychic weakness. So, the next Pokemon I decided to pick up, to kind of finish the defensive core of Venusaur and this next one, is Slowbro. I picked up Slowbro because it has amazing physical defense. It covers the weaknesses of, it covers one of the weaknesses that Venusaur has left. Also the Fire, I guess, and the Ice. But, of course, like I said before, it's not really that weak to it anyway, because of the Thick Fat. But it does cover the weaknesses of our Venusaur. What I originally wanted was Tyranitar, but I had to go for the next best thing, which was Slowbro, because David picked it up, and I might have to, you know, maybe I could trade with him or something. That'd be kind of cool, but we picked up Slowbro. I've always been a fan of Slowbro, to be honest. I love how bulky it is. I love that it learns Fire Blast. Like, again, I was talking about the Ferrothorns, the Skarmories, all of them, like, flying around. They can just catch a Fire Blast, and I've been doing stuff on Showdown. I've been trying to practice with different sets and stuff. But that's the thing. Also, it is a Psychic type, which is always nice to have on the team. We have a couple other, I think we have one other Psychic type on the team, but we'll talk about that later. Obviously, Slowbro, very physically bulky. Its special defense leaves a lot to be desired. So what we could do, you know, there's also the Assault Vest set where you could just slap an Assault Vest on that and be good to go. We have Regenerator on Slowbro, which is ridiculously good. Whenever you switch out, you get, I think it's a quarter of your health back. Like, that's insanely good. So even if you run it without any recovery moves, like, if you run it without Slack Off, I think it's Slack Off that's a recovery move, but even if you run it without Slack Off, you're good for recovery. You just need to switch out and switch back in, and you've got that, which is a little bit of a danger with Stealth Rocks. But we'll talk about that a little bit later as well. The kind of Stealth Rock thing, which is going to come into play a lot, I believe, in this league, because everyone needs a Stealth Rocker, everyone needs a spinner. There's no doubt about that. Everyone needs one. But we picked up Slowbro, which is our water type, and I'm super happy with that pick. A lot of people were saying the Venusaur Slowbro Core, I can't speak, is really good, and I agree with them, honestly. But that does leave the flying type weakness a little bit there. The third and last OU pick I made for the Newcastle Nidokings was actually not in OU. Technically, it was in the borderline tier. The BL, it was in BL. I picked up Staraptor. Now, a lot of people were saying, why did you pick up Staraptor when Talonflame was there? Basically, I already had an idea for a fire type that I wanted to grab. A normal typing gives us a immunity to Ghost, which is obviously very helpful. Staraptor has a lot more power behind it than Talonflame, and it has more versatile moveset. It can learn close combat, so it can deal with any kind of rock types it might come across. Any steel types, any Agrons, Tyrannitars, any of that. It'll be fine. We have U-turn, so it can U-turn. Obviously, Talonflame has U-turn as well, but it's not such a big deal. We have that Brave Bird and Double Edge going on. We got that normal type stab, and normal type stab is actually a big thing. Because it's you know, usually when people run Staraptor, it's always this Brave Bird, Brave Bird, Brave Bird, Brave Bird. I've actually seen people not expecting the Double Edge. I've seen people just expect the Brave Bird and just bring in, like, I don't know, what resists flying type, it doesn't resist normal type, I can't remember, fuck, damn it. But I've seen people not expect the Double Edge, but it does come out and it does do a lot of damage. It has the same power as the Brave Bird, so obviously very good. Also, we have the Reckless to boost up our Brave Birds and Double Edge, which is always very nice. And if for some reason I don't feel like running the Reckless one day, I can pick up Intimidate. And Intimidate is one of my favorite abilities ever. Honestly, just bringing a Pokemon in and lowering someone's attack is so helpful. It is so very helpful in competitive battling. But that is my last OU pick. And going into UU, I had a very good idea of what I wanted to grab. Obviously, I am the Newcastle Nidokings. We are the Newcastle Nidokings. So I wanted to pick up one of those. But I had to go with my heart, and I had to go with Arcanine first. Because Arcanine is one of my favorite Pokemon. It is an amazing fire type. It can be run so many different ways, even specialty ways. It can be run bulky, physical attack, special attack. Lots of different things you can do with it. So I did pick up Arcanine, and that is another Intimidator on the squad. Another Intimidator. We're gonna have double Intimidate going on there, which would be fantastic. If we come across like physical attackers like Garchomp, obviously a Bulkanine is amazing to a Garchomp. Like, I've used Bulkanine so many times on how not to play Battle Spawn and stuff like that, and whenever it comes against Garchomp, it destroys it, no problem. It has no issues destroying a Garchomp, so even though there is only one Garchomp in the league, and we only have one chance of coming across it, I am very happy picking up Arcanine. If I didn't pick up Arcanine when I had the opportunity, I would be very upset with myself. And that gives us an E-Speeder, which can be combined with Choice Band to do a lot of damage with that super priority right there. And obviously, I'm very happy. I'm very, very happy with that choice right there. The second choice for the Newcastle Nidokings is actually Nidoqueen. Why didn't you pick Nidoking? Well, Nidoking got taken before it could. So, that kind of sucks, but I really did want Nidoking. I really needed Nidoking because I needed like something quick, or at least a little bit quicker than Nidoqueen. But picking up Nidoqueen does give us that Stealth Rocks. I'm not entirely sure if Nidoking can learn it, I'm assuming not, but it does give us that Stealth Rocks, and it does give us another bulky Pokemon. And also, something we needed, which is a ground type. We had a bit of an electric type weakness here, with 2 Pokemon weak to it with only 1 resisting to it. That's 3. That's 3! 3 things. No. It was 2 weaknesses and 1 resistance. But picking up the Nidoqueen does give us that resistance to electric types, which I did kind of need. Unfortunately, there is still that flying type weakness, which I'll talk about a bit later, but Nidoqueen is, again, really versatile. You can run it physically defensive, you can run it in a kind of more offensive manner with lots of different moves. It learns so many different moves, it's fantastic. The Nido set, the Nido line, the Nido species somehow can learn every single move known to man. I don't fucking understand it. I really don't. But we did pick up Nidoqueen. I feel like I want to use it primarily as a stealth rocker. But I guess we'll have to see how that goes. I have been using it as a stealth rocker in practice, and it's been pretty good. It's been pretty good. It does give us that kind of advantage against fairies now because we have 2 poison types, and we don't have any weaknesses to fairies yet. I say yet because the last pick from UU, I felt like we really need to get a dragon type, and a powerful dragon type at that. So I picked up Haxorus. Now, Haxorus is not the best dragon type in the world. I know there are a lot better dragon types like Dragonite, of course, Hydreigon, lots and lots of stuff. That would have been better for the team. But I did pick up Haxorus, mostly because we needed something speedy. We needed something that could hit super, super hard. And I really wanted to grab a dragon type because dragons are just, across the board, generally just really good. And of course, this Haxorus does get Dragon Dance, Swords Dance. It can be run with Choice Band. It can be run with Choice Scarf. It can be, again, it's a very versatile Pokemon. The only downside being it's not a very bulky Pokemon. But now that kind of leaves us with an Ice type weakness, with Nidoqueen, Haxorus, Staraptor, and an Unmega Evolved Venusaur being weak to Ice. Which was kind of scary. It was a little bit scary. And honestly, even at this point, looking at my full team, Ice is still a big problem. But the next Pokemon, and the first Pokemon from our RU draft, I think it was RU, from our RU draft, I got really lucky. I got 2nd place, and I was really hoping that Shady wouldn't snipe me on this, but we managed to pick up Scrafty. Now, Scrafty is another bulky Pokemon. It's not incredibly quick, but it's something I really needed to get, because we had a bit of a Psychic type weakness. I'm not gonna lie. And having an immunity to Psychic type is really, really helpful. I wish I could articulate myself better, but I do feel like it's really, really helpful. Also, we do pick up 2 types we didn't have already. We didn't have a Dark type, and we did not have a Fighting type. Scrafty is one of the best Pokemon in RU, so I was really lucky to get that first, and I'm super happy with that. Again, I see that every time, but it's a very versatile Pokemon. You can run Assault Vest, Bulk Up, Dragon Dance. Maybe I'll make up some shit to do. I don't know. But I am really happy we got Scrafty. It's a very, very bulky Pokemon. And since we basically covered on fairies, I thought that picking up a couple weaknesses wouldn't matter so much because we do have those 3 resistances already. And with stuff like Venusaur, honestly, fairies, I'm not too scared of them. I am not too scared of fairies right now. So that is why I picked up Scrafty. I am really happy about Scrafty. That does give us a knockoff user as well, which is always incredibly important in competitive battling. So I'm happy we picked up that. The next Pokemon we got from the RU draft was a Sigilyph. Now, bear with me for a second. When I went 2nd in the RU draft, what it does is, say if I was up here, I was like, I was up here in the list, like that's 2nd. What it does is it goes all the way down to the last member, and then it goes all the way back up. So I had to sit through, I think, 30 drafts, or somewhere around there, until I could pick my next Pokemon. And by that time, a lot of the Pokemon that I wanted to pick up were gone. So, I was like, okay, I was looking at my team like, we have a bit of an Earthquake weakness there. We don't have many immunities. We have 1 immunity, which is in Staraptor, which is already a very frail Pokemon. So I wanted to pick up Sigilyph. And Sigilyph, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't spent a lot of time using Sigilyph, but I know it can be amazing. It does give us another Psychic type, which is another Dark type weakness, but I'm not so scared with that because we have Scrafty and stuff like that. But we did pick up Sigilyph, which gives us another immunity to the Earthquake, which is very important. Looking at my next pick, which is Magneton. Like I said, the Flying type weakness was there, and up until now, we've had nothing that resists it. We've had a lot of weaknesses, but nothing that resists the Flying type. So I was like, all right, I need something that resists Flying type. So what better than something that resists Flying type and Ice type, which is another big weakness. I'm gonna pick up Magneton. Magneton was already taken by the Manchester Magnezones, you know, grabbing their mascot. And I already had all my OU picks. So this is the next best thing for me. Of course, you can slap an Ebuolite on that, it becomes incredibly bulky. We do have that Earthquake weakness, that times 4 Earthquake weakness, which is why I picked up the Sigilif. So we have another immunity. So now we have 2 immunities to the Earthquake weakness. And it gives us an electric type, which we didn't have before. And a steel type. We did not have either of those types before. So I thought that Magneton was probably the best pick I could have made from the situation I was in, from the Pokemon that were left. And honestly, I feel like it's going to be really good. It has the analytic. It can give it a choice specs. It's going to be super powerful on the field. I can already tell. It's going to be super powerful on the field. If it goes second, it's going to dish out a lot of damage with a base 120 special attack, by the way. So it is nothing to laugh at. Just because it is not a fully evolved Pokemon does not mean it's not good. Does not mean it's not good. So I picked up Magneton as our bulky little motherfucker right there. Unfortunately, I don't feel like it has any recovery. So that's going to be a bit of an issue. But I am happy with that purchase, even though it's not a purchase, it's a pick, it's a draft. I'm happy with that draft, and that was it for the RU pick. So now we're on to the last tier, NU. Going into NU, I really didn't know what I wanted. Honestly, I really did not know what I wanted. I knew I needed to grab some Pokemon that were faster, because I have so much bulk on that team already. I really didn't need any more bulk. So, going into NU, I was actually the first to pick. The first to pick out of NU, and it was a lot of pressure on me. I actually went with Lilligant. And a lot of people questioned that decision, like, what are you doing? Why are you picking Lilligant? I mean, I already had a grass type, right? But Lilligant is actually, I feel like a Lilligant is a little bit, what do you call it? Underappreciated. Lilligant has Quiver Dance, and I think A-Drive said it was the only bug-type Pokemon, or the only non-bug-type Pokemon to have Quiver Dance, which is obviously amazing. It has that Petal Dance, and I'm looking at these teams right now, and I'm scared of them. I need some wall breakers. I need something that can hit hard, and hit very hard. Obviously, Lilligant can Sleep Powder and then Quiver Dance. Obviously, we can Focus Sash, that motherfucker right up there. We can do so much stuff with Lilligant. I honestly feel like since a lot of people were kind of like, what the fuck are you doing? That's a stupid move. I want to prove them wrong with Lilligant. I want to prove them wrong. It does give us 2 grass types of Sleep Powder, and of course, grass types are going to be a problem because opponents' grass types are not going to get put to sleep, or oh my god, I can't speak. Are not going to be put to sleep by our sleep powders and stuff like that, and of course there's a chance to miss. But I am confident with the Lilligant pick right there. There's some things I could have went for that were better, but I wanted to get away from the bulk a little bit for a second, for a quick second. I want to get a little bit away from the bulk. Shit, man, I can't speak. I am hyped for the team, though. I am hyped for the team. So we did pick up Lilligant, and I'm going to have to look at its moveset to see if I can slap some stuff on there. Of course, Hidden Power is a thing. And it is a special move, so obviously you're going to take advantage of that Quiver Dance right there. But the next pick, the second pick we got from the NU tier was Mismagius. Now, like I said before, normal type stab is a really, really, really nice thing to have. So I figured we don't have a ghost type yet. We don't have an immunity to that normal type stab. So I figured I'd pick up Mismagius because obviously our Earthquake weakness was going up a bit there. We did have Lilligant to resist it, but I figured I'd pick up another Pokemon with Levitate. Just to be safe in that regard. So this gives us, I think, 3 immunities to ground-type moves, which is going to be really important, I feel like. Also, it gives us a fast ghost type with a plethora of moves, a plethora of ways to run it. We can Nasty Plot. I'm pretty sure it's a Calm Mind set. So if we go up against any special attackers, we could Calm Minds up. I know its physical defense isn't all of that great, but we do have the base 105 speed, gonna outspeed a lot of things, especially the base 100 Pokemon, which there are a lot of. And we have Dazzling Gleam, we have Thunderbolt, we have Shadow Ball, we have so many things you can use on this Mismagius that I'm hoping it's gonna come in handy. So that was the second pick for the RU tier, and I feel like it's gonna be good. I feel like Mismagius is gonna be really good. I feel like it's the best thing I could have picked from that situation. And my last pick was a Rapid Spinner. I really needed a Rapid Spinner. I went through the whole tier without picking a Rapid Spinner, and I was really upset when Joey picked up Claydol. When Pokeaim picked up Claydol, because that was the Rapid Spinner I needed. It could set up screens. It could do all sorts of things. It was nice and bulky. It was another electric type immunity, but unfortunately we could not grab it. So I had to settle what I feel was the next best thing, which was Armaldo. Now, Armaldo, it's not seen much in competitive. I understand that. But its weaknesses, like, at least I don't feel like its weaknesses are too well known. Its weaknesses are, I mean, I could just say it right now and fucking screw myself over, whatever. Its weaknesses are Steel, Water, and I believe Fighting is its last one. But It is very physically defensive, and I did need a rapid spinner. Also, that gives us a bug type and a rock type, which I didn't have before. So I want to get that type of diversity in there. That means we do have access to a lot of bug type moves. We do have those rock type moves, which are going to be helpful against flying types, fire types, all that stuff. And we get the we get another type that is good against dark, which I didn't have a lot of before. I have Scrafty. I'm looking at this now. Not a whole lot for what do you call it? Fucking Jesus Christ, man! Words. The dark type. So that's why I picked up Armaldo. Of course, you can trade in this league. So we could see some trades going on. But that is the team of the Newcastle Nidokings. What I want you guys to let me know is what you do think of this team in the comments section below. And if you're rooting for the Newcastle Nidokings to win the UCL, I'm so hyped to get this started. We're going to go up against A-Drive in the first round, which is really scary because he is a top contender, I believe, in competitive battling just in general. He is. I've seen some of his videos, and I've seen his thought processes, and they are like, he definitely thinks of things that I couldn't think of. But I'm gonna do a lot of training in between now and the first battle. I hope I'm not gonna let you down. I'm gonna thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.